Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the first round of the Conservative leadership election. Now, let's start off with the rules that you needed to get this far. You essentially needed support from a certain amount of MPs, and in order to get through this round, you needed 30 votes from MPs being members of parliament of the United Kingdom. So, what happened? Well, we're going to start with the people who are just been eliminated. We're going to start with Jeremy Hunt and Naheem Zahawi. Hunt was the second place candidate in the 2019 leadership election that was triggered after Theresa May resigned. And in this one, he was thought of as the anti-Boris, at least for a bit. However, his unpopularity with the public at large, and especially with other MPs, really doomed his campaign from the start, and he finished with only 18 votes. He's probably on the center to center left of the party, just like Zahawi, and that is going to be pretty significant when I get to that. Zahawi, on the other hand, was relatively popular with MPs and very popular with the public, especially because he handled the United Kingdom's vaccine rollout. However, he became extremely unpopular among MPs after he allegedly pressured Boris Johnson to make him chancellor after Rishi Sunak resigned. However, Zahawi then resigned that new position he had just gotten only 24 minutes later, basically dooming his campaign right there because it was very unclear why he had even been appointed and said yes if he was going to resign 24 minutes later. I think that these two candidates, Zahawi and Hunt, are center to center left of the Conservative Party, which can probably be defined as center right to right wing, at least for now. I therefore think that their votes will probably go towards center to center left wing even candidates. But I'll get there. Probably the person who will be eliminated next is Suella Braverman. I think that she is on the right wing to far right of the party, and well, relatively popular among members and MPs. She's too extreme for the general electorate, and I think that the MPs who are choosing her know that some of their own seats may become endangered if she was to win the leadership election. And because she's on the right wing to far right, I don't see her picking up any votes from Hunt or Zahawi. And because the next round of the leadership election will have no requirement for votes and merely say that whoever comes last is eliminated, I think Suella is almost guaranteed to be last, barring some crazy switch around where some other right wing candidate, such as Truss or Badenoch, were to drop that and endorse her. I don't think that's happening. Next, we come to the person who will almost certainly be eliminated next, Tom Tugendhat. At one point, Tugendhat was doing very well, and he's on the center to center left, maybe even left wing of the Conservative Party, which means that you could expect him to pick up some votes from Zahawi and Hunt, which is probably the main reason why no one is considering him to be the next person out, almost guaranteeing Suella will be. However, Tugendhat is not nearly popular enough to have a realistic chance of winning, and I think next round will only serve to increase his bargaining position when he goes to negotiate with the other contenders, probably Mordaunt or Sunak, for a job in government at possibly a cabinet post. Which brings us to the final four candidates, the only ones I think have a realistic chance of being the leader of the Conservative Party and then Prime Minister. I think that the next person to be eliminated is probably Kemi Badenoch. And I think this because Badenoch, like Liz Truss, is a right wing to far right candidate. And I think that Truss and Badenoch will have to fight for Braverman's voters because no one who drops out before that pivotal third to last round is going to be essentially a right wing candidate other than Suella. I can't see Zahawi or Hunt or Tugendhat endorsing Truss or Badenoch. I only see Braverman maybe. I think Suella probably doesn't endorse in this hypothetical. And I think this gives Trust the advantage because by this point, Trust will have essentially consolidated the leadership of the right wing of the Conservative Party. Maybe Badenoch is able to mount some insurgent campaign against her from the right, but I do think that Kemi being further right than Truss makes her highly unpalatable to those Southern England members of the party who are much more centrist or center right of the party than Kemi is. So I think Badenoch gets knocked out, leaving Badenoch and Browerman to either like say that they're endorsing Trust or to just know that their followers would probably migrate to Trust, which sets up essentially a three-person fight, which is how it was always going to go. It was always going to be centrist or center-right Sunak versus right-wing to far-right Truss, and center to center-left to left-wing Penny Mordaunt. I think that Mordaunt gaining votes probably en masse from Tugendhat and at least majorities from Zahawi and Hunt, as well as maybe some surprise votes from the right-wing candidates, will give Mordaunt the easy lead and advantage in this second to last round. And I think that Sunak's lack of a clear ideological position and a way to find support from outside of his base is going to hurt him. This is because the closest candidate to Sunak's left is Penny Mordaunt, and the closest candidate to his right is Truss, whereas Mordaunt is able to squeeze some votes from Tugendhat, Zahawi, and Hunt, and Mordaunt is able to, and Truss is able to squeeze some votes from the more right-wing Badenoch and Braverman. This makes me feel that you likely have Mordaunt vs. Truss finale, or a Mordaunt vs. Sunak finale, depending on how the right wing votes and if some centrist voters tactically vote for Sunak in order to get Truss out, knowing that Mordaunt will be in the final round. However, all polls are clear. Mordaunt is the clear favorite in any one-on-one matchup. She defeats all conservatives other than Truss by incredibly large margins, and she's popular in the red wall seats and the blue wall seats of northern and southern England, respectively. This is in contrast to Truss, who is essentially the antithesis of what the pe- red wall seat MPs want. Red Wall famously supports, or Red Wall MPs and their constituents famously support a high amount of government spending and infrastructure projects in their poor communities. Whereas Truss has said that she will start cutting taxes on day one and begin making moves to remove programs that she believes are not contributing to the economy. This is in contrast to Mordaunt, who wants more government spending, as well as Sunak. However, Sunak is not popular in the red wall seats either because he is incredibly rich, and people in red wall seats are completely against him as well. Therefore, I think Mordaunt probably wins the leadership election against Truss in essentially a northern England and southern England battle, or Mordaunt will defeat Sunak in a northern and southern England complete wipeout of Sunak. So there you have it. What do you think will win, and what do you think will happen? Don't forget to comment and like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.